Well, hello. Hi, I'm Shelley, and welcome to Cooking with Shelley, Pampered Chef Style, and to my Pampered Kitchen. So today is part 2 of my little experiment, my 3-day experiment of sprouting seeds in using my quick cooker. And the reason for this is that it will give some advantage on the seeds. It will get them started growing faster, okay? And so this is part 2. If you haven't checked out part 1, check on the video below this and you will be able to see how I started it all, okay? So I've got my quick cooker. So I just wanted to share with you that I have been proofing. I've been using the proof cycle on the quick cooker over the past 3 days, and I've got all my seeds are still in, okay? I did check on them periodically, and I know that it's been working for most of them. I peeked at them. So what I did was I kept a thermometer in so that I could gauge the temperature, all right? Because you never want to let it go below 22. And so with the proofing phase, I found that it was really, really good in that it kept a fairly constant temperature. And also I used it 2 cycles per day. So the proofing cycle is a maximum of 6 hours. And so I would let it do it 6 hours, and then I'd let it go off and I'd do another 6 hours. So we had 2 6-hour proofing time in the in 24 hours each day over a 3-day period, okay? So here we go, the moment of truth. It's the big reveal. So as I said in my first video, you don't need the big cover that goes on the quick cooker. I just put the slow cooker cover, okay? Now here I've got them in my pot. So I'm just gonna move my quick cooker to the side here. And just so that you can see a bit better. Hopefully you can see. All right, so we've got, take out the thermometer that I had put in. I put the silicone cover on, okay, and which has a couple of steam holes, and I put my thermometer probe in through that so it could maintain look at the temperature so it could get maintained throughout. All right, so moment of truth here. We have the arugula. Are you ready for this? I could see it through the paper towel. This is 3 days of sprouting. Look at this. Can you see? I'm trying not to drop any. Can you see this? Look at that. That's 3 days using my quick cooker, my pressure cooker, to sprout. That's arugula, which is, of course, a type of lettuce. So I'm going to be planting these later today. All right, so that's my arugula. I'm just going to put them back in to keep them. Oh, and I wanted to show you as a comparison then. I also planted arugula in soil, and so I got a few little sprouts coming up. Nothing at all like what just happened in the quick cooker. I've got a few little sprouts coming up. So arugula is easy to sprout. Can you see them there? Okay. And this one, just as an aside, this is my makeshift greenhouse. I use spinach and kale containers to just put some organic soil in here, and the top helps keep the soil from drying out. You just spritz it every day, okay? So that's what I did for that. All right, so we've got our arugula. Now we've got kale here. Let's see how the kale is doing. All right. Oh, wow. So here's the kale. We've got some really nice sprouts here on the kale. Don't know if you can see that. Let me know. If you're watching, can you see them good? So we've got some nice little ones here. Just going to take up a couple. So what I'm going to do is separate these very delicately from the paper towel because they are growing into the paper towel. So don't know if you can see that, but there's our sprouted kale. So kale, I'm going, as soon as we get our next cold spot done this week, I am going to be planting this. Well, I'm planting them in the soil here, and then in a couple of weeks they'll be ready to go out in the garden because it's a cold weather plant. All right, so that's the kale, and just going to show you all of them. I'm not going to plant them right now, but this one is thyme. My thyme is doing so well. Don't know, hopefully you can see that. There, all of the little thyme plants that are growing. They are just incredible, if you can see that. So of course, thyme is a fantastic herb that can be used in many, many things. All right, our tomato. Not sure how the tomato are going. Tomatoes can be a bit finicky. These are tiny Tim tomato seeds. All right, I've got a couple here that have sprouted, but the majority have not sprouted, which tells me one of two things. I'm going to give them a couple more days and see how they do. Or maybe I have a dud pack. And this is one of the benefits, the main benefit of sprouting your seeds in the pressure cooker is you can see whether or not the seeds are actually good before you plant them in your garden. A lot of people would just plant them directly in the garden. So this is a great way to test your seeds to make sure that they are viable and that they're going to produce for you. And this is my cilantro. And they are just starting to sprout. So cilantro as well can be a bit finicky. So these, I've got a couple of them that are sprouting. I think I'm going to have to check back and see if maybe those seeds were not, and I just bought them, so some of them are sprouting really well and some of them are not. Okay, here we have our marigolds, which of course is a flower which helps prevent pests in the garden and bugs from eating your plants. So here the marigolds are doing wonderful. You see that? They are all sprouting. There. So I'll be planting these today. And I did an experiment with this one. Also, I planted some seeds directly on the same time on the other night when I did these. And I planted the marigold seeds directly in the soil. And not one has come up in the soil yet. So it'll be interesting to see how long these will take for the soil. They're still just keeping them damp there. And just one more left, and it is some mini peppers, which I just haphazardly took from my from some peppers. I wanted to see how they would do. And these have not, oh, a couple of them have sprouted. They're just starting to sprout. Peppers will take a little bit longer. There's a couple there. I don't know if you can see that, that are just starting to sprout. So these I'm going to leave to sprout for a bit longer, and we'll see how many of these plants we'll get. So I hope that that was a good little experiment for you. You know, as the time is coming up, and now the garden centers are starting to open. I was out yesterday. They're just starting to open, and a lot of things are, the plants, the small plants aren't in yet, a lot of them. They do have herbs and whatnot, and tomatoes. It's still too early in Ottawa anyway to put anything out in the garden yet, but in a couple of weeks, as I said, I'll be planting my lettuce and my kale because they're cool weather plants. So they'll be going out soon, and when it gets hot, they don't do well in hot weather. And then successively, I'll be moving things from inside to outside later in May. And it might take until a little bit early June, depending on how the weather goes for some of them. So I'll keep you updated. I'll do a couple of post a couple of pictures in the comments here as well, so that you can get an up close and personal view of the seeds and how they're sprouting. And over the next few weeks, I'll post a few periodically. Each week, I'll post a picture and let you see how my plants are doing as well, okay? If you want to get a quick cooker for yourself, then just let me know. I've popped a link in the post above, and right now in April, you can get this one at a 20% discount. If you need to know any more info, please let me know. Go to the link that I've posted. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, and have a great rest of week. Take care, and I will see you next week. Ciao for now. Bonne journée.